Hi everyone, and welcome to my next video in the Bayonetta series on the Xbox 360. This is chapter 16, the Lumen Sage. So this is what seems like the final boss battle in Bayonetta, and here is where you meet Baldur, who has been basically just a voice throughout the game that Bayonetta's been hearing inside her head. And so you finally get to meet him, and he's kind of creepy. And yeah, I went ahead and cut a lot of the cutscene out here. It runs about 10 minutes, and something that I had mentioned in an earlier video that is something that I don't like about this game is just the amount of dialogue and exposition that's present throughout. It's something that to me smacks of substandard storytelling, that you would need Baldur to go on and just basically explain everything for that length of time. Just feels like, well, maybe the rest of the game didn't do a good job of that. And so he stands there and just talks and talks and talks, and it's not very interesting. Not much happens. Luca comes in, and there's a bit of a fight, and you think he possibly dies, but no, of course he can't die. So anyway, that is just something that kind of disappointed me, and it's a storytelling device that I am just not a fan of. I mean, if there's going to be a surprise or twist at the end that's going to get you, then you should have all of the information built up and stored in your mind, ready for something like that. And when it happens, you should be like, oh wow, that was great. But in this, that doesn't really happen, and so there's this big build up, and it just kind of hurts the pacing of it, I think. So I'd say don't play Bayonetta for the story. You'll probably be disappointed. I kind of am. It's really silly, and in that sense, I have to just kind of play it for the spectacle and the really good combat system. Now, kind of speaking about that combat system, I've been saying a few times throughout these videos that I am not very good at these third-person action / brawler games and combo-based games in general. I kind of grew up and cut my teeth on Street Fighter 2 and fighting games in the 90s, but never truly mastered them or even mastered one character. I played them and I got pretty decent at them, but I didn't dedicate myself to them to become an expert player. And so I think that has kind of, I guess, seeped into these games for me, in that I do tend to rely on the same techniques, and I don't spend a whole lot of time really mastering the depth of the systems. And for Bayonetta, that would be the dodge offset, which is a really cool technique, and I'm starting to get used to it, but it does take a lot of getting used to, especially if the first time through this game you kind of play it like me, which was a more or less button mashing. And to Platinum's credit, they allow you to play the game that way just because of how robust the combo system is. And so you can enjoy the game that way, but I think to extract the most fun and the highest scores, and for those going for pure platinums and chasing the highest scores out there, this has a lot to offer. Am I the kind of person who's going to get that much out of this game? Probably not. Maybe I'll go for pure platinum on normal, and maybe I'll try to do it on hard, but when I look at some of the videos for the non-stop infinite climax mode, and seeing and hearing about the dedication and time it took for people to do that, doesn't really interest me. And I think that's what separates the truly dedicated and hardcore folks from someone like me, who I wouldn't say I'm a casual player by any stretch, but I also wouldn't consider myself to be that hardcore of a gamer. So I kind of fall in the middle, and so that can sometimes be a disservice to me. But that doesn't stop me from appreciating what Platinum did in refining or developing and refining the combat system that is present in Bayonetta. So yeah, in closing, I guess for this, the battle with Baldur was pretty good, and in fact it felt kind of easy. So when this is all happening and it looks like the game's going to end, I kind of felt slightly disappointed, but in true video game fashion, that's not the end. And it was kind of cool. You saw earlier, you had the satellites firing at you that are kind of inspired by Akira, and then here Baldur comes back. There's a lot of story stuff here too. This goes on for, I think, another 10 minutes, and then you and he go into the eyes of the statue, and the final boss of the game, Jubileus, is resurrected. And so this will take you to the game's epilogue, which is its final chapter, notwithstanding the secret ones that you can do throughout the game. So anyway, that is chapter 16, a pretty cool level, and I will see you in the epilogue, which will complete my journey through Platinum Games and Sega's Bayonetta for the Xbox 360. Thanks for hanging out with me through this entire thing, and I will see you in the next video.